Hello, everyone, and welcome to WTFFG, where we discuss the games of Fantasy Flight Games. I'm RJ.
I'm Crimson.
And I'm Caleb.
So we've played several games of our favorite FFG LCGs recently. We've continued our adventures into the insane in Arkham Horror. Some of us have jousted in a Game of Thrones with the new cards from the new sets. And we've also skirmished for the Imperial favor in L5R. So let's dive right into it. We've finished our first campaign in Arkham Horror, and it seems like we've had a semi-successfully completion of Night of the Zealot. Wouldn't you guys say?
Oh, definitely. Oh, man, I had such a blast doing that, too. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but, man, I can't wait to do the next little group of campaigns, man. It was just amazing. Although my character's retired because, well, we couldn't easily do it, but hey.
Yeah, same for me. I had an absolute blast playing this campaign, and unfortunately, I think all of our characters retired after this one because we got forced into a specific resolution that made all of us take a whole bunch of mental and physical trauma. So there was no chance going forward. But it was cool that based on our actions beforehand, that's the situation we got backed into. So I literally cannot wait. I am ready to play a new character, and I am ready to see what the Dunwich Legacy has for us.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's really cool playing. I've played the Night of the Zealot halfway, just with you, Caleb. And we're going to have a different experience in the last scenario than we did when we played as a group. And I think we had an easier time, more or less, or we had an easier time in our group because we only had one cultist that we didn't find. We just drew terrible chaos tokens. I think I drew the auto fail token at least 5 times and the -4 token at least 3 times and got stuck in the forest. It was, that was rough.
Yeah, you could not leave that damn freaking forest no matter what you tried.
Yep. What did we
It
call
was terrible.
Yeah. What did we call it? It was Mirkwood Forest and I left the path.
Yep. Oh,
yep.
Man. That was bad. And then I ended up getting stuck, engaged with some cultist, and you guys couldn't come help me because you were too far away. And then all the enemies started spawning right on top of me. And I'm like, pretty sure I'm dead. It was rough because I have gotten to that one solo, and it was pretty rough. But I think I ended up getting resolution 2. But I was like, okay, this one should be okay. We've got 3 people. We're in a good spot. And we could not pull a good chaos token to save our fucking lives.
I also think another thing that we'll want to try to do next time we do that campaign itself is move as a group versus, do the split and explore.
Yes.
Because moving as a group, we're allowed to use the cards in our hands to help each other out, and the fact that we have somebody who can take out enemies really easily, and we have somebody who can investigate really easily. Just staying as a group, I think, would make a little bit of difference, but in the end, nothing could have changed that with the roles we were getting.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and especially since when we build our next characters, we can tailor them to be more of a support class or a support role, which is what I'm doing. So I think that's a good strategy. Now, given the scenario, we might have to split up to get stuff done pretty quickly, but that's a good plan to start with.
Yeah, just start with the, and then branching off if you need to, but wait for some enemies to get out there first.
Yeah. I completely agree. We kind of diverted from the first rule of horror movies, which is don't split the party, and we did that basically on the first turn and got screwed. But I think if we can stick together as long as we can, and then once the clock starts ticking, we can split up and really cover some ground. But it's tough because you want to cover as much ground as you can to try to finish it early before things get crazy. But if you split up, somebody gets caught in the forest, somebody gets caught with a bunch of enemies, and everybody dies.
Yeah, the first rule of horror movies, don't run upstairs.
Yeah, never run upstairs. Why? Why would you make it harder for you to escape? Why would you do that to yourself?
Yep. Yeah, that resolution was rough, getting 2 mental trauma plus an extra one for our game action, and then you as lead investigator, Caleb, took an extra one earlier because of the storyline. So you ended up walking away with 4 mental trauma, and Jenny only has how much?
She has 7 sanity, but also the resolution we got gave us 2 physical trauma on top of the 2 mental trauma. So we would have started the next scenario. I would have started with 3 sanity and 6 health. And it only goes downhill from there.
That's not good.
No.
Exactly.
I think I would have started with like 5 and 2 until I got the amulet out.
Holy crap.
I think I would have started with 3 and 4 with Ashcan. It was going to be rough, and that's why we've retired our characters. I know that for the Dunwich Legacy, I'm going to be trying out Jim, the mystic trumpeter guy. He looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've built him as a healer and a support class. So I've got first aid kits and some other stuff that mystics do really well. So I think I've got all of my bases covered, but that's how I'm going to play him. I'm really excited.
I'll be doing the Gravedigger.
William Yorick.
Yeah.
I'm real excited to see.
Yeah, he seems interesting.
And you've been talking about Yorick since he got announced, so I'm really excited to see you play him.
Well, he's the colors I want. He's red and blue, and just everything perfect.
I'm not 100% sure on who I'm playing. I've been kicking around the idea of playing Daisy, the librarian, because I've played her a couple of times just in random one-off scenario games, and I love how she plays. But I may end up going with one of the other Seekers, maybe the Reporter. I like how he plays. But I think I want to play a different class entirely. Rogue was a blast playing Jenny, but since she's retired, I don't really want to play the other 2 rogues. So I think I'm going to go Seeker or maybe even Guardian.
Yeah, because I think between me and RJ's going to be playing Jim, which is purple, so he will have some damage spells, and I have a couple damage stuff too. We should be okay on damage, but we're definitely going to be on the lower side of damage versus having somebody like roll in or, any of the other blue characters.
And if you guys are kind of playing, like, it sounds like, Crimson, you're going to be playing more of a tech character. Like a lot.
Yeah, utility into
and
tech.
And then if RJ's playing support, I may dive deep into the rabbit hole and play the soldier. I haven't decided.
That could be cool.
But if we've got RJ being able to heal, you being able to heal because you're blue as well as red, and me being blue, that's a lot of healing to go around. We could probably abuse that soldier ability pretty easily.
Yeah, because I'll have the first aid kits no matter what. Always got to run those.
And then I'll actually take the emergency aids that just heal for 2 as an event. But I can take him in a drastically different direction. I can upgrade him into the shotguns, into the lightning guns. I mean, I can go heavy damage with him. Yeah. All right. I may do that just for something drastically different.
And if you want, there's always websites that give you like deck building ideas.
Yeah, really I think I may jump on Arkham DB and see what they've got going for him. And for all you listeners, if you guys want to watch us play this new campaign, we will be recording it, I'm sure, as well. And so you can jump in and see what we're doing and watch us pull the auto fail 9 times in one scenario.
Hopefully not, but it's bound to happen.
Watch RJ pull the auto
there
fail.
There you go.
Yep, there it is. Yep. I've come to just expect nothing less.
Don't lump me into that.
Yep. So I will continue holding on to that evil. So
there you go. Just keep it all.
Such is the life of the trumpeter. Dude, his weakness is crazy, but hopefully I never draw that ever.
I can't remember what his weakness was, but I remember reading it when he first came out, and I was like, there's no way I'm touching this dude.
Yeah. So on Revelation, you pull 5 chaos tokens, and for every one of them that is a skull or another symbol, you take 1 horror and 1 damage.
Holy hell.
Yep.
So basically,
it's rough.
So you just die
we all have healing
when you pull it, because you'll pull all the bad tokens.
Maybe. Now I do have a Ward of Protection where I can cancel on Revelation effects, so I might be sandbagging that one if I feel like I might draw it soon. So we'll see. It's definitely a gamble. So
oh yeah, I definitely want to see this guy get played though, because he has not been a very popular one from what I've seen. So I would definitely like to see what you can do with him.
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm excited. Alrighty, we good for the Arkham Horror?
I think so.
Awesome.
I think we're good.
Good deal. Well, check us out on YouTube and follow our adventures or misadventures, whatever happens. But we've had some, at least Caleb and I have had some stuff going on for Game of Thrones. We've had...
We'll wake you for L5R.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So we've had the release of Brotherhood Without Banners, the big box for House Tyrell, and the Archmaester's Key, the first chapter pack of the next cycle. So we've got to play with a bunch of different cards, and man, in my mind, the meta has really changed with these new cards. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, that's kind of where I've been with it. Is I took a few months off, of course, and came back. It's been interesting with a 2 packs and a big box coming out since I've been gone. There's a lot of changes. There's a lot of new cards, a lot of new synergies. There's a lot of power creep. There's a lot of broken ass shit. But overall, the game is still fun for now. In my eyes, at least, I'm still keeping a skeptical eye on it. We've seen some issues with Netrunner diving down the rabbit hole and going a far different direction than everyone thought. So I'm still happy with playing Thrones. It's still a great game. We have a great local community, and that really helps. But there's definitely some cards coming out of this pack that is kind of skewing people towards having to play something that they're not necessarily wanting to play just to combat it. But with that, we have some other fun experiences with it. And one of mine was I got to play a Tyrell Reigns deck. First time coming back. We had a 12-person tournament, and I ended up making it into top 4 with a house I never play. So that was pretty fun. I got to see some of the new cards and just kind of dick around with something I haven't really messed with. And because of that, I'm actually going to be building a Tyrell deck now that I've got the big box. So there is some good points to it, you know, being able to venture out and play something you haven't really messed with before and experimenting with some new tech and coming up with some new ideas. RJ, what's some of the stuff you've been up to with Thrones?
Well, I took a very close variation of the World Championship winners Targ Crossing deck to this tournament, because essentially what it is a Flea Bottom toolbox deck. And Flea Bottom is one of these new locations that's really taken the meta by storm. It's
Flea Bottom!
Yep.
I fucking hate that card.
Yep. It is a one-costing location, challenges action. You kneel it and pay 1 gold. You can put a character from your discard pile of cost 3 or lower into play. At the end of the phase, if it's still in play, you put it on the bottom of your deck. And really, with this Flea Bottom card can really be abused with Targ, because you can use Plaza of Pride to discard cards to stand your characters. So you're putting them into the discard pile from there. You also have the new Dothraki Blood Rider guy, Kotho, where you can surprise put him into play for at the cost of discarding 2 Targ cards. And he's a solid body. I was talking smack about this guy when I first saw him, but after seeing him in practice with this deck and with this engine, I actually have a lot more respect, and I really like him in there. He's a 5 cost, 5 strength military intrigue icon, and he's honestly a solid body for the cost. So there's really nothing wrong with that card at all in the right deck, and this is the right deck for it. And then it's got all the regular Targ good stuff. So it's definitely a toolbox deck that can run a lot of different things. And the key piece of tech is Second Sons, a 3 costing, 6 strength military power icon, but they have a text on them if they have no gold on them, because they're a bestow card. At the end of the phase, they go to the discard pile. So you don't actually put them on the bottom of your deck. So you essentially have a pocket 6 strength military power icon on command. It's really dumb. And then the other tech that you can now see and have to prepare for is the surprise putting a dragon back into play for Dracarys. And
you don't say.
You definitely got burned by that. Not by my hand, but you. Nope. You definitely
that was our buddy Patrick. Me and him had a very just knockdown drag out match. He was kicking my ass early game. I wasn't drawing characters. I finally started drawing characters. Me and him started beating the shit out of each other, and I'm like, okay, I think I've got this. I've got Doran on board, I've got New Viper, and I've got Tristane. So and we were on plot 7. So, all my lords and ladies were now plus 6 strength. I'm like, you cannot touch me this turn. This is my turn. And he had no power icons. I'm like, swing in with Doran to get that, to start the Lord of the Crossing, get that unopposed power. And he's like, pay a gold, bring a dragon back, Dracarys. And I'm like, all right, and scoop. Like, being able to do that just at fucking will drives me up the wall.
I mean, to be fair, the Flea Bottom is sitting there.
You're right.
You always have to worry about Blood of the Dragon doing the exact same thing on 2 gold. But this time you can see the Flea Bottom.
Blood of the Dragon is from Dead Pile.
Yes, that is also true. So now you have to look for dragons in both places.
Yes. Now, the key, and this is my problem with it, is not, like, it was definitely my mistake for not seeing it. The problem that I have with it is that is now a problem for the entire game. Now I have to sit there and go, he has Drogon in his discard pile. I can never attack with anything that is not 5 strength or higher. And if it is 5 strength or higher, he can just burn it down and make me lose the challenge. So he locked me down one way or another, just by having a card in his discard pile.
Yeah. Well, I think like you had mentioned earlier, this is nothing new that Targ does. You just have to be more aware of it. It's like playing against a mono blue player in Magic. You know they have counter spells. You continue to play their game to get the counter spells out of their hand, because eventually they're going to run out.
Yes, but again, there's no hard counter for that. It's a lock. Let's say I had Put to the Torch in my hand. Cool, I'll swing in this military for however much. Okay, cool, I'll pay a gold, bring Drogon back, burn him down, he's a 1 strength. You don't win by 5 or more, you can't pop Flea Bottom. Like, That's the thing, is it's not something new that Targ does, it's literally just another instance of it. So now they have 3 Fire and Bloods to pull from the dead pile, and they have, however many Flea Bottoms that are online every single turn for the entire game. That's my issue with Flea Bottom.
Yep, and you're not wrong about that. I definitely see
it's Hyperloop. It's fucking Hyperloop. Crimson, wake up! It's Hyperloop in Game of Thrones. Oh, it's close. It's not quite there, but it's close.
It's not. It's okay. I mean, it sounds fun, and I might actually make that deck.
You gotta play some Targ Toolbox.
No, I'll play it online. But yeah, it's pretty brutal. Yeah. I mean, but can you? Yeah, I don't know.
I definitely think that Targ is one of the houses that can abuse Flea Bottom the best. But we've definitely seen a lot of decks that are utilizing Flea Bottom tech, and it's definitely making a splash on the map. And I think that between it's a location that's causing a problem, but also between Greyjoy getting some new location tech and just doing what Greyjoy does, we've seen a huge rise in Greyjoy X decks. And I think that's causing a shift in the meta, because there's also a lot of locations, and locations are huge. They've been more prevalent than they have been really ever in the past, and I definitely think people are going to be starting to consider political disaster, Put to the Torch, newly made lords or Lannisport shipwrights out of Greyjoy for location tech. So I definitely see that being a thing in the meta for the foreseeable future.
Yep. Now, with that note, and we're going to get into this later when we start talking about the actual LCG model and all that stuff, but that is going to be for another episode. But as you just said, that there is this location, it's causing waves in the meta, it's making people tech against it. Well, the biggest tech against it is Greyjoy, right?
Yep. Hardest counter, easiest
exactly.
Counter.
So when you have these issues of, for instance, the Targ Toolbox decks that are just abusing it, being able to bring dragons back for Surprise Dracarys, being able to recur Second Sons every single turn, that forces people to play Greyjoy to be able to counter it. Well, then that means that people are now playing the house they don't want to play, or a house that they don't want to play, to combat a problem in the game right now. And that is one thing that I absolutely dislike about any game. If you are forced to play something that you don't want to play because there is a problem child at the table, it becomes an issue. And that's kind of where I'm at with it right now, is I'm going to build a Greyjoy deck, but I don't want to play Greyjoy. But that is what is countering the biggest problem in the meta right now. But I hate that. Mm-hmm. I want to play Baratheon. I want to play Martell. I want to mess around with the new Tyrell box. But that's the other thing. We just got a Tyrell box, but they can't counter Flea Bottom Toolbox decks. They are okay against Reigns, depending on the tech that you put in it. But those are the two biggest decks right now, are X Reigns and Targ and whatever else Flea Bottom. And Greyjoy kind of tears both of them apart right now.
Yep. I definitely agree with you on that one. Greyjoy had the greatest representation at Worlds. So,
that tells you something.
Yep, exactly.
But also, Targ still won.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which I'm glad. I am glad that Targ won Worlds. But yeah, I don't know. That's something that we will get into later. But that is one of my biggest complaints, is being forced into playing something I don't want to play. But on that note, we have been seeing a lot more Greyjoy and a lot more Tyrell. We saw... Yep.
We have some exciting news with Martell box spoilers.
That's true. We do have some Martell spoilers, which is nice and great if they weren't broken as shit. We're gonna kind of roll through this pretty quick, because we'll post a link to the Fantasy Flight Games article, but the big one coming out is at Prince Doran's behest. It is a plot. It is loyal. It is 0000. Plot deck limit 1. Edict. When revealed, choose and reveal a new plot card. Cannot be canceled. This thing is absolutely fucking busted. It really is.
That is a broken piece of shit. That actually makes me not want to play now.
I am a Martell player, and this is going to break the game.
With that, you're looking at, I'm gonna Valor. Okay, I'm gonna flip this and do Black Bottom. Oh look, Valor fucks everybody. Or even better, I'm gonna flip, I don't know, trading with the Potoshi. Okay, Naval Superiority.
Yeah, that's exactly how I'm gonna use it too. I'm gonna flip it, turn 1, and they go, oh, it's Late Summer Feast, and I'm like, cool, Naval, or whatever. But you can even use it later game and be like, I'm pretty sure they're about to Valor. Cool, I'll flip that, and they're like, yeah, it's Valor. I'm like, great. I'll flip into Varys' Riddle. Copy your Valor, and I'm sitting at a 5/6/1. It's disgusting.
Yep. It's definitely seeing it like that and seeing it used like that. It's kind of feels like cheating. It's like, oh, I see what your plot is. I will react accordingly.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah,
we have a different understanding of the word kind of.
Yeah. I don't know how this one, again, and we say this, I think, almost every episode. I don't know how this got past playtesting.
Yep.
I don't know how this got past design concept.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yep.
But
this is still in the Martell box, and it is a way away. So.
Yep.
Yeah. But still.
Oh, here's another one that I didn't even realize. You can flip into Forgotten Plans and really fuck them over too.
Well, that'll be good against the Hyper Viper decks or the other combo decks. Yeah, because you can see it. Well, you can probably guess either turn 3 or turn 4 when they want the combo to go off. You flip at Prince Doran's behest. If they flipped Annals of Castle Black, then you're like, okay, great. I'm going to choose, Fortified Position or Long Forgotten Plans?
Forgotten Plans.
One of those two, depending on the combo deck that you're facing. Granted, those do take up a slot in your plot deck, but, the option is still there, depending on the meta.
But does it? Do they take a slot in your plot deck? Because the agenda that comes out of this box is the wars to come. Your plot deck must be exactly 10 cards. You may include a second copy of up to 2 different cards in your plot deck. So you can slot that extra tech in there. Like, they just enabled their own broken-ass plots.
Oh, weird. Oh, boy. Yeah.
Yep.
That seems pretty broken. And, dude, I'm all about control decks. I just never been a Martell control player, and that's broken.
I think this is going to push Martel way into the forefront, which you would think I would be super happy with, but we didn't need this stuff. We needed an econ card that didn't suck, and we needed a new Viper, and we got both of those in way better than we would have expected. So we're like, yeah, we're in a great spot right now. And they're like, hey, here's the Martel box. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's stupid. That's stupid. That's stupid. That's stupid. Why? Why are you bringing out this overpowered garbage? Now, one of the cards that I do want to mention is the new Doran. And this is because he is just solid. He doesn't feel terribly overpowered, but he does have amazing synergy with this Martel stuff. He costs 7. He is 5 strength, intrigue power. He is loyal, and he is a lord. Action: kneel your faction card to choose a participating character with fewer than 2 challenge icons and remove it from the challenge. Key parts there is he does not have to kneel for it, and it does not stand them and to remove them from the challenge. It just kicks them out. Reaction: after you lose a challenge, choose a character. Until the end of the phase, that character gains or loses a challenge icon of your choice. And that works on attack and defense.
Wow, there's a lot of utility there.
Yeah.
He's not overpowered. I definitely don't think of him as overpowered, but he is definitely a great utility card that will mesh well with Martel. See, he's the type of card you needed more of.
Yeah, I agree. And he has amazing synergy with the new Viper, which says when he's attacking, characters with less than or fewer than 2 challenge icons can't defend. So he can be sitting there, you're losing a couple of challenges so that you can strategically pop icons off of people, and then you can swing in that Viper to get unopposed challenges, which will work really great with something like, Reigns of Castamere, where you can swing in that intrigue, you can flip Power Behind the Throne to stand it back up, swing again. There's so much synergy there, and this is the type of stuff that I was hoping would come out. So I hope that most of the box is stuff like that really synergizes with the Martel identity, and less of the this is broken as shit, this is broken as shit, this goes in every single deck because it's a staple. Like, I want new strategies and synergies. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and this is the big box that's a complete cycle away. So we'll definitely, the meta is going to completely change by then, I feel, just as a blanket statement, because an entire cycle they can do.
Yeah.
There's a lot to play with.
Now, real quick, there are 2 neutral cards that are definitely worth mentioning because one of them is a wildling that I think is going to put wildlings on the map, and the other is a plot that actually fucks Martel over. And Night's Watch. The plot is Beyond Reproach. It is a 5/1/1/4. It is the 7 plot, and it is when revealed, each player sacrifices each attachment that is attached to a character he or she does not control. So all those icon removal attachments go away, the Milk of the Poppies go away, Cravens go away. Yes.
Boo.
And the wildling is Val. She is 6 cost, intrigue, power. We cannot see her strength because she's hidden behind the card. She is a unique wildling, and from the looks of it, it says after she is declared as an attacker, you can put a wildling character with printed cost 4 or lower into play from your hand, knelt, and participating as an attacker.
That's pretty solid.
That feels right.
Yeah, definitely.
I think is what wildlings needed.
Yeah, because Mance can only do so much, and you kind of have to build around him, and I think you need winter plots to do something with him, which is already winter plots in general are in an okay spot right now. They're definitely, I think, very subpar to summer plots just in general, but having Val not be restricted by your plot lineup sounds really solid.
Yeah. Now, Mance does give all of your wildlings ambush. They just cost one less if you have a winter plot revealed, or if there's more winter plots revealed than summer. One of the two.
Right. You still want to be taking advantage of that.
Yes. But having them have ambush is still solid. He is a 5 strength Tricon with Renown, so he's still solid, but maybe not a 3 of. Val is probably a 3 of. That tech is strong. Yeah, I think the Martell box is shaping up to be pretty good, as long as we've already seen the most broken stuff out of it.
Yep, that is true. So, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. On to L5R then?
Yeah, let's do it. Crimson, you can wake up now.
All right. Yep.
Okay. I'm going to have to pull up some resources. So why don't we go over a little bit of some news from RJ?
Yeah. We have, I think 4 packs of the new Imperial cycle now out in circulation. I have not had a chance to experiment with any of those because of how I'm choosing to play this game. But I was actually able to play in my first Imperial Summons event, and I only brought 2 core sets with me, and I came in second with a Dragon Crane deck, which was a lot of fun. We had 8 participants, and not quite everybody played a single clan. I think there were 2 dragons, there were 3 scorpions, a unicorn, and I don't remember the rest. I don't think that. There was a crab player too. So we did not have a phoenix or a. I don't remember the last one. But we did not. I know for sure we did not have a Phoenix clan represented. But yeah, I actually had a really good time. My first 2 games, they were very much back and forth. We were on par with each other. We were breaking provinces. We were playing the game. It was just going back and forth. And both times I ended up being literally just a step ahead of my opponent and was able to take down the stronghold. It was a stronghold victory both times. And then the last game, I played against a good friend of mine who came up from Kansas City, Mason. Shout out to Mason and his shop in Mission Board Games in Mission, Missouri. So got to play with him, and he just raffle stomped me. He was also playing Dragon, but he was splashing for Phoenix, and he had 3 core sets versus my 2. And that was, I think, the biggest lesson that I learned that day. The difference between having 3 core sets and 2 is huge, especially considering for your provinces and during the dynasty phase, you only get to play up to those 4 cards in your provinces. So you're essentially only drawing 4 or fewer cards from that deck per turn. And that is huge when you have 3 core sets for your consistency. I also learned a very valuable lesson about honor bids and kind of what Dragon wants to do with their archetype and with their playstyle right now. Although with a couple cards coming out, that's going to be changing. So, but yeah, it was an awesome learning experience, and just met a bunch of new folks, and just got to enjoy playing this game in person. It makes a huge difference in person than it does online.
Yeah, it really is a completely different game when playing it in person. Definitely different between 2 and 3 core. That is a huge difference. I'm not going to go through every single card that has come out in these last 4 packs because that's an insane amount of cards. And there is a ton of cards that have come out, which is, whether good or bad, I find it to actually be very good that we are having this amount of cards come out. In the end, it's nice having the meta change up so much. But there are definitely some cards that we definitely want to go over. Here, and I'm pulling them up right now, and we're going to look. Now, just to be on the safe side, I am a Crane fanboy, so a lot of these might be more geared towards Crane than other ones because, that's what I play. But there's a lot of neutral cards that have come out that have been insanely good. One of the biggest ones that I have found to be quite an interesting card is the Finger of Jade. Now, this is a neutral attachment item that costs 1 and gives 0/0. So it gives you no bonuses to your, political or military. But it has a unique effect. It's Interrupt. When the effects of a card ability that target's attached character would initiate, sacrifices to cancel those effects. So if they go to do anything to that character, like tap it down with Fury or anything like that, you can literally just discard the finger and give them the finger. It's great. This is definitely an interesting card to throw into the mix on any kind of decks where you're like, well, I got a champion and I'd really like him to not die. A couple other big ones here is I'm trying to find it here. Sorry, guys.
I like how with the keep looking, but I like how with the Finger of Jade, it's a neutral card. That's that's quite interesting.
Yep, neutral for. Yeah. Okay, here's two unique holdings. Now, holdings go on top of provinces, and they add the province. There's a Lion one and a Crane one. The Lion one, they're both limit 1 per deck. The Lion one is political conflicts cannot be declared at this province, where the Crane one is military conflicts cannot be declared at this province. They are limit 1 per deck, so you will probably see quite a bit of them in there. But I find that kind of card type to be incredibly fun. And the fact that you could go, look, I'm a Lion deck. I'm not very good on political, but I'd like to keep this province around a little bit longer. So boom, you get the holding on it. It makes it a little bit harder for them to deal with it, and makes it so that way they're either going to avoid that province and try to break the other 3 to get to your stronghold, or any of those other things. It is still limit 1 per deck, so it still has that interesting effect.
I have a question. You don't honestly have control of which province that one is going to show up on. Depending on your setup, it could flip on the farthest left or the farthest right, and that's
correct. So it does make it harder to use, but it is still, from the games that I've played with it, it has done work every time. Just because it just controls, the flow to that province. Now, there are times when it sucks when it shows up on a broken province and it's completely freaking
or
useless.
on a province that you would really like them to hit. Like, the only example I can think of is Restoration of Balance out of Dragon. I want my opponents to hit that, because it feels great when they do.
Yeah. A couple other cards that I have seen that have been, in my opinion, forerunners and a lot of these are going to be neutral cards because if I went through each clan, it's going to just take forever. But Political Debate. Now, this is a card that I find extremely useful for Crane, Scorpion, Phoenix. It costs 0. It's a neutral event. Action. During a conflict, you choose a participating character you control and a participating character your opponent controls. Your characters challenge each other to a political duel. The controller of the losing character reveals his or her hand. that player's opponent chooses and discards a card from it. So, since you are choosing the attacker and the defender, you choose your high guy, you choose their lowest guy that are in the conflict. You might have to bid 1 or 2 honor just to make it to the point where they can't break it even if they paid 5. So you might lose an honor or 2 during this. And then boom, you get to strip a card of your choice out of their hand. That is insanely strong.
That is really strong. I'm curious of the wording here. It during a conflict, so 2 characters have to be participating, but you can do this on military challenges where you're particularly going to be focusing on that military strength, but their guy might have either a dash or a 1 or 0 or 1 for their political, so you could potentially screw them over pretty hard.
Now, if they have a dash, you can't use that character. It won't participate. But if it's 0 or 1, which a lot of military people have, yeah, totally. So you could block it with, your 0-2 and be like, okay, block it so it's not unopposed. Play this, strip a card out of your hand. You may still lose the battle, but you're still taking a card out of their hand.
Now, do you think this card is strong enough to be a 3 of in certain decks because of it reveals information about what they have in their hand, and it lets you get something out of it?
I think it's a 3 of in Crane and Scorpion at the at the least. I think it's probably a 2 of in Phoenix.
Good stuff.
And then of course, Crane got their sword, which costs 1, gives +2 military, 0 political. So just like any other sword, but it also has gets +2 political while involved in a duel. So the character gets +2 political while they're fighting a duel, and after the attached character wins a duel, you gain an honor. So I'm foreseeing a lot of dueling coming to Crane soon.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think Crane definitely had a lot of the duel cards from the core set. There was another Crane. Yeah, there you go. Crane and Dragon. Yeah.
Dragon.
Yep. Sweet.
And then, so that was the first 2 packs. Now we're moving on to the 3rd pack, which has my favorite card so far, which is called Censor. Play only if you control the Imperial Favor. Counterspell. Card is broken good. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, you can't do it on first turn because you can't get the favor on first turn, and it requires you getting the favor. But I'm like, dude, it's going to sit in your hand until you need it, and then turn 4, turn 5, you're just going to be like, no, can't counter that. I need to win this turn. And
I gotta jump in on this shit because we've both played Control Crimson for years. We have always been control players, and you are hard control. I have been, that kind of mid-range aggro control. No matter what, it doesn't fucking matter if you can play it on turn 1. First off, it's so good that it doesn't matter that it can't be played on turn 1. Secondly, you have, 9 other counter spells that can be?
Yeah, exactly.
What?
It's your late game counterspell. It's your mana drain. It's your cryptic command. It's not your turn 1 force of will.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, no, it's spelljack. It's dissipate. It's the later game. It's not a force spike. It's not a straight up counterspell. It's a rewind. It's one of those ones that you get a few turns in, and then it's going to show its value. But its value is that it has no drawback. As long as you have that favor, it's just straight up cancel that card. there's no dishonor a character. There's no, discard cards from your hand,
Exactly.
lose honor. There's nothing like that. It is just straight up cancel. So as long as you can keep that favor, it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm skeptical until I see it in practice, but with the way that you bid honor to draw cards, you can definitely have a boatload of cards in your hand. I could see this card having an advantage, definitely in that sense, but also at the same time, it only cancels events, and there's still a decent amount of attachments that will help you when you have other options other than the event that is canceled, because you have those attachments that you can manipulate the conflict math with. I definitely. I agree. I'm skeptical, like I said, until I see it in practice. But it still seems pretty strong.
And this brings us to another card that was revealed called Frostbitten Crossing. Now, this one's super unique. It's an air-neutral province with a strength 4. So it will take the place of like your Manicure Gardens or Fertile Fields, unless you happen to be Seeker of Air. I wonder who Seeker of Air is. But if you're lucky enough to be Seeker of Air, you could use this and another air province. Well, it also comes down to another thing. This province also says air roll only. So only Seeker and Keeper of Air can use this card. And here's the action on it. During a conflict at this province, and it is not a reveal, it's just a straight up action. During a conflict at this province, choose a participating character. Discard all attachments on that character.
Whoa, that just craps all over Dragon. Oh my gosh. Ouch.
Yo, it is so
That's
good.
Disgusting.
And if you're Crane, you can still run Manicure Gardens or Fertile Fields. It's so good.
This is going to be... This is the province that... this is going to be Crane's... No, sorry. It is going to be Crane's province of Restoration of Balance for Dragon. Just the one that you don't want to hit. And you will never go back there once you find it. Unless you just commit to, here's characters that have no attachments. I guess we're going to fight fair.
Yep. And that is not the only province that they're doing that is rolls. Feast or Famine is a fire province that is fire roll only. And it has a nice effect too. It is when this province is broken, choose an opposing character. Move each fate from that character to any character you control with no fate.
Yeah.
So if they bust in with their champion, bust that thing, you're going to strip their champion of all the fate and move it over to another character of your choice.
That's dirty. That's
Wow.
real dirty.
I think, all the roll provinces seem to have very strong effects.
Right. But then the downside is only certain factions at this point in time are going to be able to play them.
Which is going to cause more wanting to win that world, to be able to choose the first role, more important. Which is, I think, why they did this. Because they want that world to be not just, it's a great acclaim for one character, but it's huge for the whole faction, for all the characters. And then I'm just going to end it on probably my favorite card to come out of here. Actually, you know what? I'll do RJ's first. So RJ, your clan got something very unique compared to other clans. At this point, you got a second champion. Your clan actually has 2 champions now.
Woohoo!
So this is a dragon character. I'm not going to pronounce any of these names. Screw that. Simiko, whatever. 5 cost, 4/4, glory 1. It is a dragon character, Bushido champion. So you have a Bushido champion and a wizard champion.
Mm-hmm.
While you have the Imperial favor, this character does not bow as a result of conflict when attacking.
Ooh, that fits. Ooh, that feels real good. That feels real nice.
Yeah, that fits really well with how Dragon has been playing lately. I think it's a solid card to run in Dragon, and I would definitely suggest picking up this pack if I were you.
Yeah, definitely. I am going to say, though, that I'm definitely on the fence between Dragon or Crane. So...
Oh, well, here, let me help you with that little decision here. Here's the greatest card ever. Oh, my goodness, when I saw this card, I about lost my shit. Yoshi. Crane character, Cortair, about fucking time. Daimyo, so he's the leader of the clan. Imperial. 5 costs, same as our champion. 2 military. Our champion has 3 military, so he's got 1 less military. 6 political, same as our champion. 3 glory, same as our champion. So he is 1 stat point off of our champion, but he actually has a useful ability. Action. While this character is participating in a conflict, you may discard the Imperial favor. Draw 3 cards. Okay, if I stop right there, boom, bada bing, awesome, amazing. Draw 3 cards, discard the favor. Who cares? It's probably your last attack anyways, so you don't need it anymore. But he also says reduce the cost of each event in your hand this conflict by 2. What?
Yeah, that's huge.
So you draw 3 cards, and you reduce the shit by 2.
And that's not just the ones that you drew. That's all the cards in your hand.
Yep, ooh, all the events. That is so
especially
good.
When you go into a conflict with, 0 to 3 fate. You might pick up a couple here and there that's on rings or through other effects. But being able to go into a conflict with 0 fate and still have the amount of flexibility that this card can potentially provide is huge. I really like that card.
Yeah. You don't know how many times I've had 1 fate, because Crane unfortunately does have a high cost to it. I got 1 fate, but I need to play the steward that makes everything not get dishonored. But then I can't play, an omit defeat or any of the other cards in my hand that I need to play. Well, with this, I would be able to play the steward, sack the Imperial favor, draw 3 cards, and have cost reduction on all my events.
This is also just interesting for one other point, is that you're drawing 3 cards off of this ability, which means you can effectively not pay 3 fate to draw 3 cards during the draw phase. Like it's honor.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Your honor.
You're saving yourself honor by having card draw, and you can set it up to where you go, I'm going to use this ability on my last attack or as the last conflict of the round or the turn, and sit there and go, I also have enough standing glory to take it right back.
Exactly. And no, I'm not talking about the next 3 packs, but there is a card in there that is a holding that gives you straight up +3 to your standing glory later.
What the fuck?
So, yeah.
Is that crap?
So no, it's neutral.
Wow. So it's the Iron Throne.
So
for
it's
L5R.
really good with. It's the Iron Throne for L5R.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And woo, yeah. There's lots of interesting
lots
things.
of fun stuff coming down the pipe. I also like how that Crane Daimyo, I think it alone is going to really force Crane or not force, but make Crane players make the choice of, do I want to have more events in my deck or more attachments? Because that one's going to definitely focus it more towards events. So it provides a deck building choice, which I really like.
What it really focuses on too, and why I don't consider him overpowered, is because he costs 5. They're putting some amazing abilities on some high cost characters and still allowing you to have your early game, but he really makes you choose, am I going to run 3 champions? Or are you going to do like I do, where I run 3 3 of him and 2 champions, which at that point now is pushing into your 4 drops. So you're running a little less 4 drops to make up for this. And it does cause this little bit of it's the way your tempo of the deck works. It does get a little out of line. And it gets expensive. It's why events that cost stuff and attachments that cost things are not seen play in that style of deck.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I think as I play this game more and start to see those finer nuances of how my cost curve really affects the gameplay, I'm really interested to see how that pans out over the next couple games and tournaments that I play. So very cool. Good stuff.
Yeah. Now to wrap up the L5R segment, I mean, we're just going to talk about our thoughts on, we touched a little bit, but let's talk about, the growing card pool. I don't know, personal opinion for me, I have loved this 6 packs in 6 weeks. Now, do I have all the packs? I do not. I did not buy all the packs the moment they came out. I'm buying them here and there and buying the ones that have the stuff I need. And by the time we have some big tournaments, I'll have all the packs. But for now, I'm just buying what I need. And, wait until payday, I'll pick up one, or maybe I'll pick up both of them. Depends. I don't go to the card shop the moment the pack drops and pick it up. But I have seen a huge change in the meta. And I feel that it has improved the health of the game. The one negative thing that I've seen is a lot less people are playing right this moment because they don't want to keep updating their decks. They're kind of just waiting for the packs to drop out. And then then you're gonna see a lot more players jump in. So there is that downside, but the upside seems to be in a better place.
Yeah, that's interesting. And it's a very interesting observation compared to our initial discussion of the 6 packs in 6 weeks. And it's honestly taken me by surprise. I'm kind of also doing the exact same thing. I have not kept on top of L5R as I do with Game of Thrones or Arkham Horror. But I think I'm going to be, in general, following the same path of how I'm going to be playing this game. I've got my 3 core sets, and then I think I'm going to settle into a clan that I really enjoy playing right now, that is Dragon/Crane. And then as the game progresses, I will pick up the packs that are going to be most useful to me. Now, in the end, I could end up picking up all of them because there might be some powerful neutrals that I need out of this other pack that really doesn't offer anything else for the decks that I want to play. But from my limited experience, there's definitely been those new cards floating around for each clan, and everybody always has to be like, okay, what does this card do? Oh, okay. So I definitely think it's also in a good spot right now. A lot of diversity from what little that I've actually played. But yeah, so that's where I am.
I have no thoughts.
Yeah. Well, as always, the offer still stands. If you want to get and play a game or two, we can always share some stuff as long as we don't overlap that much. Because in all honesty, that's one thing I noticed. You only splash 5 to 6 cards, and that's it.
Yeah, and I may take you up on that offer if you build a Phoenix.
And
or something.
Knowing Caleb, he's going to be looking at. Yeah, you're going to be looking at Phoenix, maybe Scorpion in those lines. I think Phoenix has gotten incredibly better with these 6 packs. In fact, you should definitely check out some of the new Phoenix cards. They have gotten way better with these, and not so much reliant on, oh, you dishonored my character, I'm screwed. Honestly, I'm still seeing a lot of Phoenix Crane because of the fact that Crane has the Steward, which cost 1. It's a conflict card. While he's participating characters cannot be dishonored. So he's just an incredible card for Phoenix because it stops them from dishonoring your characters.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Cool. Good stuff. Alrighty. Do we have any more thoughts for the L5R and the state of the meta right now?
No, I think we're good right now.
Well, is there any other closing thoughts on anything that we've kind of touched on this go around?
I think I'm good.
Nope, we're at an hour and 5 minutes. Thank you all for sticking around this long.
Thank you guys so much. Alrighty. Well, that's going to be it for another episode of WTFFG. We're going to be coming out with a new episode next couple of weeks. Hopefully, it is the holiday season, so things could definitely pop up. We'll hopefully be bringing you some more Arkham Horror content as we venture into the Dunwich Legacy. And I know I'm going to be playing hopefully a little bit more L5R, and we're definitely going to be playing some Game of Thrones the next couple weeks. So thank you, as always, for listening. You can check out our previous episodes at mediocregamers.com, and you can also check us out on iTunes and Google Play. Come and check out our YouTube page, where we've got some of our content up there. And you can always check us out on Facebook and Twitter at 2 Mediocre Gamers. So please come swing on by, leave some feedback, drop us a like, and please subscribe. So until next time, I'm RJ.
I'm Caleb.
I'm Crimson.
We are Mediocre Gamers, and get out there and play some games.